Most people don't know how to prompt with AI correctly. And no, this isn't going to be a basic framework video of how to prompt. This is if you actually want to make money, you actually want to 10x your output, you actually want to make your work faster. I'm going to show you how I prompt to run my AI agency and actually make money with AI. So, this is the only prompting course you will ever need on prompting AI. Anybody else's is probably bullshit. They probably don't actually run an AI business and don't know what they're talking about. So, I'm going to show you how to correctly prompt things like Claude, Gemini, ChatGPT, Meta AI, DeepSeek, Grok, and any LLM that you're speaking to. So, why should you listen to me? So, if you don't want what I have, then you probably shouldn't listen to me. I did all of this before the age of 18. If you want to fly to Paris whenever you want, close deals that are worth $20,000, and just live an awesome life of freedom and abundance, then don't listen to me. But if you do want that, then listen up if you actually want to make money with AI. So, 99% of people suck at prompting AI. And before we dive into the actual framework of it, I want to talk about the three massive mistakes that you're probably making and most people actually make. So, mistake one is they're too vague. They say things like, help me with marketing, but cool, right? What kind of marketing for what product to what audience with what goal? The AI isn't mind reader. And honestly, I'm a victim of this too sometimes. Sometimes I just want AI to just read my mind. Maybe when Neuralink comes out, we'll be there. But for now, it can't do that. So mistake number two is they actually expect AI just to get it. Like we talked about, okay? Neuralink isn't out. It can't read your mind. And you wouldn't walk up to a new employee on day one and say, do the thing and expect them to know what you mean. Maybe 5 years into the company, they know what their role is and you say, do the thing. Yeah, okay, they're gonna know what to do. But that's 5 years of talking with this certain LLM in a project to where they can actually understand that. So AI is just not there yet. Again, when Neuralink comes out, I'll be the first one to get it. But that's what people do with AI. Okay. And mistake three is they don't give context. So they don't know who you are or what you're working on, what you're trying to achieve. If you don't tell it, it's going to make assumptions, and those assumptions are usually wrong. And I'm going to show you what actually works. So the only way to kind of get AI to like understand you in a Neuralink sense right now is JSON prompting, which I already have a video on, and we'll get into that deeper later in the video. But as of now, it's just not possible. So, for every high performing prompt, it has just four simple core elements. Okay. Role and context. So, for example, you're a direct response copywriter who's written over 50 million in sales copy for online education companies. You specialize in writing to parents about their teens' future. Okay. Super direct, tells it exactly who it is, and super slept on, but it actually telling it what it is, right? And then making up a crazy stat. So, who's written over $50 million dollars in sales copy for online education companies? Like, I don't know why or who built this in the LLMs, but for some reason, like the crazier and more like realistic and actually relevant you get with this, the better the output is. So, if you were going to do market research, you would say you are an expert market researcher that has worked with Google and Facebook in their founding stages and have 20 plus years of experience, right? So I'm not sure why this works again, but it works and it works really, really well. Next is the task. So write a cold email to parents explaining why their teens need to learn AI skills now, positioning your AI Foundations program as the solution. The goal is to book 15-minute discovery call, okay? Telling it what it's actually doing. So you're telling it who it is, okay? Then you're telling it what it's actually doing. The next one is audience. This is a bonus. It's not super necessary depending on what you're doing, obviously. But if it is like something like this, where it's a direct response copywriting, you're going to want your audience. You're also going to want to do deep research on your audience. So you have a JSON context profile of them and you can make this hyper targeted. So if you had your JSON profile, you could just plug this in and say, this is the audience. But if you don't have that, and you're just writing a quick prompt on something, you can just say, parents ages 38 to 52 with household income. So you want to literally describe your ICP in deep detail, like legit what they look like. Like you could even say moms over the age of 40 that wear full suit leggings to hot yoga on Sundays. Like the more like in detail you are with this, the better the output is. So with a household income of 100 to 500K, who are frustrated. Their smart teen wastes 4+ hours a day scrolling on social media. They believe traditional education is failing, but don't know what to do about it. Okay, so this is a very basic but good example of the audience that you're writing to. The next pillar is constraints. So tell it what not to do. Okay. So like maximum 200 words total, no bullet points. Every sentence must be 20 words or less. Don't mention specific AI tools by name. Don't use corporate buzzwords. Start with relatable pain point, not a question. End with one clear call to action and write like you're texting a friend, not presenting at a conference. Okay. So just telling it what the output is and what not to do. Okay. Then next, most important is output format. So a lot of people just tell AI to do something and then don't actually know what they want. And that's when you have to keep telling AI and then start threatening it because it keeps giving you just complete shit. So with output format, you want to make sure you have a clear format of how you want it to respond. So for example, for this email, you say, okay, I want a subject line that is compelling, not spammy. I want an email body that's going to start with an opening, a problem agitation, solution, what they'll learn on the call, and a CTA. Okay. So you're telling it exactly what you want it to output. So it's going to output a subject line with an email body with these points. So you have to tell it very specifically how you want it to actually structure the response. And then examples, which honestly it goes under the radar and is my personal favorite. And I'm going to dive super deep into examples and how I have a resource that I can give you of thousands of examples. So examples are honestly massive depending on what it's for, but like something like this to where you're doing copywriting and writing an email, then examples are absolutely massive from people that already know what they're doing if you don't know what you're doing. So here you just paste in 1 to 2 of the best performing emails if you have them, which you will if you go down in the description. And I'm going to show you what that resource is. So again, just to cover it, role and context. Who is the AI? What's their expertise? What situation are they in? Task is just what do you want them to do? That's simply it. Audience, who is this for? What do they know? What do they care about? Right? Constraints or just ICP. Constraints, what not to do, length limits, style rules, format requirements. Okay. Output format, how do you want it structured? And examples, just examples of people or things that you are want to reference or kind of replicate in a way in your own way. So we'll dive deep into each pillar and I'm going to show you exactly what this looks like in real time. So element one is the role and context. So a bad prompt would be write me a social media post. And to be honest, way too many people do this. Okay. Even if you say write me a social media post, this is my page, still not good enough. A good prompt would be something like you're a social media expert who specializes in helping teens learn AI. You understand how to write in a casual, relatable tone that sounds like a corporate robot. Does not sound like a corporate robot. Okay. So this is a good prompt. And this is quick. Like you don't need to sit there for 10 minutes writing an essay to the AI. You just need to use the basic terms, basic formats and frameworks, and you will get a 10x better response. So just tell the AI who it is and what it's working on. When you give AI the role, it'll actually have context on how to behave. Okay. So this matters because AI is trained on literally billions of examples of different types of content. They have meme pages, they have business content, they have dog content, Chinese content. They have so much information that it's trained on. And if you're not specific, it's just going to jumble it all together. So when you say you're a social media expert, you're telling it to pull from examples of social media content. Okay. You're not telling it to pull from the Webster's dictionary or telling it to pull from the Harry Potter books. You're telling it to pull from social media content. Okay. So that is shooting into a subcategory. When you say you specialize in teens, now you're narrowing it. Okay. So think about it like a box that AI is pulling from. Okay. And it has all these different squares, right? So when you shoot a prompt, it's just going to hit all of this. When you shoot a prompt like this, it's just going to hit all the boxes. But when you actually tell it who it is, so it's going to go into this one first, and then, okay, oh, it's for teens. Now it's going to go here. And then it just keeps going more niche and more niche, giving you the response you want. Okay. So very bad visual, but you get the point. So here's some examples of good role definitions. You're a direct response copywriter who's written over $10 million in sales copy. You're a high school teacher explaining complex topics to ninth graders, startup founder who's raised $5 million in venture cap, or you're a fitness coach who works exclusively with busy parents. Okay, you get the point. Super important. And it's super easy to add too. Just before you write anything, just say, okay, tell it who it is, then go into your prompt. Element tool is the task. Okay. So the task is just what you're doing, right? So a bad prompt would be write something, an Instagram post about AI. Terrible. Okay. A good prompt like this, it doesn't take more than, you can still write a short prompt. You just have to be a little more specific and actually use the correct framework. So a good prompt would be write a 3-paragraph Instagram caption, explains why teens need to learn AI now, using the fear of missing out angle, and ending with a call to action to join our program. Okay. Big difference. Big difference in the output that you're going to get. The second one is crystal clear, tells the AI the format, the topic, and the ending. Okay. The task should just answer these questions. So when you're writing a task, so you have the role, then you're writing the task, just answer these 4 questions. Okay. What type of content? Is it an email? Is it a post? Is it a script, outline? Is it a VSL script? What is it? Okay. What is the main point? What is the goal? And how should it make the reader feel? So a lot of the time, what I like to actually do is say, write this copy and hook the person in and reach through the screen and grab their attention. So like honestly, I get super creative with the prompts that I give it because for some reason AI just responds very very well to things like this. So like we said, okay? So create a 5-step framework for teens, teaching teens how to use ChatGPT for homework help. Write a cold DM to parents explaining why teens need AI skills, maximum 4 sentences, generate 10 video ideas. So, like, these aren't even that good, but like, these take no time, literally no time, and it's super easy. But you can get very creative with the way you say it and the way you do it. Okay, so element 3 is just constraints. Okay, so just tell the AI what not to do. Otherwise, it's going to hallucinate and you're going to get like images like this and copy that just absolutely sucks. Okay, so this is what most people skip. Honestly, they just let AI go off the rails and they just forget about it and hope that AI does its job. But constraints are honestly super, super important because, like we talked about in this visual, if you don't give it constraints, it could go down this path. And even though you were specific, instead of going here, it went here. And now you got to, yell at it to get to this box. So constraints are super important. So common constraints are keep it under X words, exactly 5 bullet points, 3 to 4 sentences. Tone constraints, super, super important. Don't use corporate jargon, avoid using emojis, write like you're talking to a friend, not giving a presentation. So just how do you want it? How do you want it to speak, and what do you want it not to do? Content restraints. Don't mention specific AI tools. Focus on practical examples. No fluff. Use short sentences. Start every paragraph with a question. No bullet points. Write in prose. Okay, so you get it. Here's an example with bad constraints. Write an email about our AI course. Write an email to parents about our AI course. Keep it under 200 words. Don't use corporate language. Focus on fear of their teen falling behind. No bullet points. Every sentence should be 20 words or less and end with a single call to action to book. Okay? So you get where we're going with this, right? You don't need to sit there and write an essay. You just need to follow basic frameworks every single time you're typing in an LLM. So do you see how much better this is? You're not leaving anything like, oh, I hope AI does this. No, you're telling it exactly what not to do and what to do so that it can actually give you the output and actually use AI to the best ability, because most people are just honestly wasting the potential of AI. Like, they still think it's crazy and they're not even using it correctly. So imagine if you actually used it correctly. Element 4 is output format. So pretty much just what do you want the response to look like? Okay, you just tell AI the response and how you want it structured. And most people get lazy. Even I get lazy sometimes. And honestly, this is where your brain comes in, is what do you actually want it to output instead of just letting it, out. You could output anything, right? If you say write a script, it could output a script in any different format, Instagram post, whatever you put it as, it can output in any format. So here's an example with format specification, right? Give me 5 Instagram post ideas for AI for teens. For each idea, use this format: hook, body, CTA, why it works. Okay. So when the AI outputs, it's going to give you the hook, the body, the CTA, and the format. Okay. Bonus: this is few shot prompting. Okay. AKA just examples. This is by far my favorite. This is what I use the most and the most powerful way to use AI, especially when you combine this with JSON profiles, which again, I made a video on, it'll be down below. But few shot prompting, if we just look at the numbers here is a response if you use 0 examples, if you use 1 example, 2 example, 3 example, 4 example. So as you can see, 4 examples is at its peak performance. When you get to the higher numbers, it kind of just starts to jumble it all up and kind of forget what the whole point of it is. But 3 to 4 is your best bet. Even 2 is literally doubling the response and accuracy that you're getting. So 2 to 4 is typically the rule of thumb that I follow. So this is why this works and the science behind it. AI is a pattern matching machine, like we talked about in the beautiful diagram that I drew up. Okay. When you give it examples, it analyzes the patterns like the sentence structure, the word choice, the tone, format, length, style quirks, and it replicates those patterns in new content. So, for example, here is my massive Copy King database, right? So I have YouTube ad script examples. These are transcripts of good performing YouTube ads. IG ad script templates, okay? Again, transcripts of well-performing IG ads. Ecom email examples, thousands and thousands. So if you want to make an ecom for a shorts company, you have an example that's already performing well, especially if you don't know what you're doing, just copy what's already working, or at least the style that's actually working. Email examples, literally thousands of emails from people like Iman Gadzhi and Leah Motley and the top dudes that know what they're doing. Well, their marketing team that know what they're doing and just taking what's working and putting your own spin on it. Okay. Like this is by far the most powerful way to use AI. VSL script examples. Like I have people like Charlie Morgan, again, Iman Gadzhi, like the top dudes in the space that have actual copywriters that have been doing it for 20 plus years, that are the best of the best, and just taking what they're doing, putting my own spin on it, and just using AI to do it all for me. So I don't have to spend 20 years. I can do it in 30 seconds, right? This is where the leverage of AI is so massive. Sales page examples. Again, people like Russell Brunson, like I have his whole entire sales page copy all right here in a database. I plug this in and I say, okay, now write my sales page. Here's an example of a really good sales page of someone that's been doing it for 20 plus years. Just copy his style and format, except use my brand, my actual offer, everything that about me, but just use this as a reference. Okay. So again, like I said, I have a whole database of VSL scripts, sales pages, emails, literally everything you could possibly need, all in one Google Doc that you can just download. I have it down below, and you can just go to it, download it, throw it into a Claude project, and reference it whenever you want. So a bad approach with Zero Shot would just be write an email like Iman Gadzhi style about learning AI. So this is what people typically think, that they can get a good response like Iman if they just do this. But you're going to get something generic, kind of sounds like him, but doesn't capture his actual voice and the actual skill behind the copy, right? A good approach, an actually well-performing approach, would still be give it the role and context. You're working, writing marketing emails in the exact style of the examples, and then just give it the actual example. So like this is an actual example of Iman Gadzhi's email, right? Look, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Like this is legit from his team that I got sent, and I took it and I put it in a Google Doc. So here's the basic framework, just putting it all together. So every time when you go to write a prompt, just remember craft, okay? Context, request, audience, format, tone, okay? Who is the AI? What do you want? Who is it for? How should it be structured? Like, what do you want the response to look like? And who should it sound like? And, this is just what not to do and what should it sound like. With JSON profiles, again, This can be very limited and a lot easier. So combined with JSON profiles, because it already knows, who you are, and it knows your audience, and it knows the tone that you use. All you'd really have to do is just tell it what it is in the situation that you're using, what you want it to do, and then kind of like how you want the response to be. But it's going to pull from your JSON profiles about you and your business and your ICP, and it's going to pull from this and then put it all into the prompt and make it 10x better. Okay. So write a post about AI skills. This will be a terrible prompt. Just using basic craft. You're a successful 18-year-old entrepreneur, built a six-figure AI business, and now teaches teens AI skills. Write an Instagram post, creates FOMO around learning AI at young age. The post should speak directly to ambitious 14 to 17-year-olds who want to stand out from their peers. Here's the format and here's the tone. Okay. So this combined with JSON profiles is the highest leverage of AI you could possibly use. So here is a real example that I actually used. Okay, so a bad prompt would be write an email to parents about our AI course. Dear parents, this is typically what you're going to get from AI and what most of you probably get from AI. Dear parents, we're excited to announce our new AI course for teens. This comprehensive program will teach your child valuable skills in artificial intelligence, prepare them for the future. Our experienced instructors provide engaging lessons that make learning fun. Enroll today. Best regards. Terrible, absolutely terrible, and realistically probably what most of you get is this, and it's so obviously AI. Okay, it is 2025. Everybody knows what AI looks like. This is so obviously AI. Now, a good prompt using the four elements plus JSON profiles, you're writing an email to parents who are worried about their teens wasting too much time on social media. The email should open with a relatable pain point about teens and screens, introduce the idea of replacing scroll time with skill building time, position our AI program as a solution, use specific examples, and end with one clear next step. Keep it under 250 words, write conversational, like you're talking to a friend over coffee. Like just little things like this can make the output so much better. No corporate jargon, focus on their fear of their kid falling behind more than the features of the program. Output format, subject line, personal greeting, 3 to 4 short paragraphs, and a single CTA. And then you get a response like this, right? So, subject line, and I know what you're thinking. Your teen is glued to their phone for the third hour of the day. So, right there, a pain point. They're so smart, but they're just wasting time quoting them, literally their exact words pulled from an actual Reddit feed by doing deep research on our ICP. I get it. Here's the thing, right? So, just it's actually good. Okay. It's not this. So, here's your checklist before you hit enter on any prompt. Just check, do you have a role? Do you have a task? Do you have constraints? Do you have an output format? Okay. This plus JSON profiles plus examples of our database that we gave you will turn you into a master prompt, be better than 99% of people, and actually give you leverage on AI. So like we talked about a million times in this video, I named it my most valuable video for a reason. And it's just how to actually do advanced AI prompting and JSON prompting, which is just replicating you for AI in robot language. So by far my most valuable video. That's why I talk about it so much. And to be honest, I'm a smaller creator and nobody's really going to understand the value of this video until they look back years from now and say, wow, he really gave us the sauce the whole time. And, we just didn't know it because we thought he didn't know what he was talking about. But it's on you, as well as the free resource of all of the examples that I showed you here are all down below in the doc. And if you want to learn how to actually make money with AI and start an AI business, I also have that link down below. I started Raw AI Academy, teaching kids how to actually make money with AI, paid for by their parents because their parents care about them. Their parents want them to succeed. And most people in the online education space are scamming little kids that don't have money but actually have ambition. So if you want that, it's all down below. I appreciate it. This is a super, super valuable video. So if you got anything from this, just comment, let me know, and let me know what you want to see next.